Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different because we are going to be making over this master or primary bathroom. I had been sitting on this idea for a long time, but we finally went and looked at tiles. We had somebody come out and give us a quote, and then we decided to go ahead and move forward. And they said they were ready to come out in 2 days. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be hiring someone to come and do the install. We're going to be ripping out our whole shower as well as the flooring. And then once they've came and done the whole demolition and the tiling, then I'm going to come back and paint everything. We're going to be changing out the light fixtures up above, and then also painting something, and then changing out probably the hardware and kind of redecorating. So this is going to be a complete like demolition bathroom makeover, mainly just ripping out all of the tile and getting in new tile. All right, so when you walk in our bathroom, this is currently what we have here, but here is what the master shower looks like now. In fact, let me go ahead and turn on the light. Is that the light? Okay. And this is what it's like when you walk in. We've had this door put on, but here you can see the transition in these pieces. These pieces were just bigger tiles cut up into smaller tiles. We're going to be replacing this. We're going to be keeping the step here. See how there is tile here throughout the whole, what is this, of it. So we're going to be doing that. And then this whole shower does not come up to the wall 100%, so we are going to be taking it all the way up. We have one fixture here, and then we have a fixture here and here as well. So we are going to be taking this out. I mean, we're going to be tearing this whole thing down. So this is what we're working with here. Also, we have to use this caddy to kind of do our shower. So I'm going to be putting in like the niches here or here. I don't know yet which wall we're going to be doing. So that is going to be the shower, and then next is going to be all of the flooring. So we're going to be ripping out all of the flooring all the way up to here, all the way into the toilet area, and then in this closet. This linen closet. So we are going to be holding off on our master closet. We're going to make that a whole separate project. So that'll be for another day. We're not ripping out. We originally were going to rip out that carpet, but we're going to save that for another day. And then we may be taking up the tile through the walls. We may go all the way up to these walls. I'm not quite sure yet what the plan is. I love this, but I kind of don't like that it stops right there. So I would love to match the shower walls with the walls all the way up to the ceiling. And then I'm going to be painting the walls that are the rest of the walls, and then changing out these light fixtures, and then probably the knobs probably to black. We're headed out to Floor and Decor to get an idea of what we want. I have an idea in my head from this picture inspiration, and we're coming here to see if they have it available. So I really wanted to do this bow tie type tile, but it's actually marble, so it's a little bit more pricier than what I thought. And there was two options that I really liked. This one is more gray, and then the other one has more black in it. So we are going to take home both of those pieces to see what looks better in our space, in our light. And then the next is to match the shower walls. Now, we went back and forth between a couple of them. The whole idea was to match the Correa marble that is on the floors to the walls, and a couple different options. We had a couple different designs that we were thinking of. We also had to keep it in somewhat of a budget. Since I was committed to doing the floors a little more busy, then I opted to not have busy marble on the wall. I wanted to keep it very nice and subtle. So we ended up choosing this one. We ended up bringing that one home, as well as the square piece in a bigger size. So we bought samples of everything that we thought we could possibly use. And one of the things was, although I wanted to go and buy everything right then and make that decision, we needed to see it on our floor and in our light. Since we are not changing the countertops and we are not changing the cabinets, we needed to see which one looked better. I originally was going way more toward the black bow tie and the dark gray here, which is what we want to border the tile floor with. But when I was looking at it in our lighting and kind of comparing it to our granite countertops, it gave off a very blue tone. And I don't know if you can see that here in this lighting, but I was not impressed with it. I was impressed with the other one. So I'm glad that we were able to take home some samples, look at it in our natural light, really visualize it in our space, and this really swayed my decision. We also got a darker gray tile. Now this was tile, the floor would be marble. So we did some comparisons to see what we thought would look best in the space. Now the second design was with, at the time, my second favorite choice, which was the light gray bow tie tiles for the floor. I originally liked the black ones, like I said, and now we're just kind of comparing it with the darker gray tile or the lighter gray tile. And in this space, that gray, it looks so dark, but in person, it doesn't look that dark. So when we put it in the bathroom, we realized that it ended up looking a lot darker than what we wanted. So we opted to go for the lighter tiles. So now that we had the floors picked out, we had to make a decision on the walls. And for the walls, we had that really dark gray tile. We had this Correa marble in this size, which was a 12 by 24, but we also bought them in a 12 by 12. So a little bit smaller to see if we wanted the smaller ones or the larger ones. Now, one thing we learned when picking out marble is that not every single piece is going to be the same. So when we bought these packs of 10, I think depending on which marble tiling it was, we bought them in packs of 10, and we actually had to go through piece by piece and pick out the ones that we liked. The ones that we didn't like, we could return and go through another pack and pick out the exact design pieces. So some of these could have a little bit of like rusting in them because they're all natural stones. So in order for it to all look cohesive and beautiful, that was one thing that we had to do with it being marble. With tile, you won't run into that issue, but with the natural stones, you will. We are now making this a decision whether or not we are going to do this back wall. And if you followed me on Instagram, you saw that we did. We decided to go ahead and put the marble on the entire back wall. They call it a jacuzzi wall, and I'm so glad we ended up making that decision. But just to recap on the designs and finally solidifying our decision, this was design 1, where we would use the dark border around the shower and the floors. And then this was design 2, where we would use the lighter border. You'll see later what we chose, but let me know what you guys think so far. Which one would you have went with? But next, we are starting the demo. The contractors are coming out tomorrow. And they initially said that the whole project would take about a week to demo and get everything tiled and completed. Just with any project, I feel like it takes a little bit longer than expected. But I will walk you through each demo day. While they are doing the demolition on the bathroom, that is when we are trying to figure out which hardware to go with. That was a project in itself because we changed our mind so many times. But let me show you one last clip of what it looks like before, because it is an amazing transformation. Demo day 1, if you're starting a construction project, then consider it to be a mess, especially if you are ripping out old tile. I was curious why they were covering all of our furniture if they were going to be working just in the bathroom, but the dust was everywhere. I mean, I was cleaning constantly. The amount of dust was just insane. So the first day, they got so much stuff done. They ripped out all of the old tile on all of the floors in our bathroom, as well as the entire shower. You can just see how much of a mess it makes and how they have to rip out not only all the tile, but all of the glue and concrete that is with it. This day is where I decided that I wanted to rip out that entire wall that leads to the bathroom. It's kind of in this enclosed space, and when I walked in and saw everything, all the tile and everything ripped out, I was like, why don't, if we're going to build this beautiful shower, why not rip out the wall so that we can actually see it? One thing when getting a new shower is also thinking about, if you are going to get new hardware or new faucets, you have to think about the valves that come with those. So we did have to get a plumber to come out and replumb the valves so that they would fit the new hardware that we purchased. Another decision we made along the way was to rip out these cabinets underneath the bathtub. So now we are on demo day 2. You can see we decided on the wall. So they ended up taking out all of the backsplash that we had before so that they can start prepping for laying the marble on the wall. Not only are they going to do that back wall, but they're also going to do around the window. And here is where I made the decision, and they demoed that whole wall. It opens up the shower and makes the shower feel so much bigger, and it will feel a lot brighter as well. The amount of trash that they had taken out in those 2 days was insane, and they have already gone and emptied this, I want to say at least 1 or 2 times. But now moving on to day 3, I have the air purifier running because of all of the dust, and they have begun the wall, and I am already becoming obsessed with it. These are the 12 by 24 Correa marble tiles. And again, we did hand pick the exact tile pieces we wanted because we wanted it to all flow together and not have any of those one-off stone pieces. Typically, what I have found is that the larger the size is, then the less expensive it is as well. We are going with that entire design throughout the shower as well. Another decision we had to make was the color of the Schluter, and this is Schluter, and basically what it is it's going to go around the edges, like the edge of the window or the edge of the shower, and you'll see what I mean by it a little bit later. We did not have any Schluter before, and when he brought it to my attention, he's like, you can do black or gold or whatever color you're going for, and we just opted with white. This way it was more hidden and didn't stand out. Now we also inserted these niches here because we had 2 boards that went on either side, so we could not do them side by side without cutting out the stud or the board. So we just decided to do 2 right on top of each other. Next, we're going to get some of these light fixtures taken down first so that they can finish the wall, and then we also need to make a decision on what we're going to replace them with. Now, this is day 4 or 5 update. They ripped out the bottom cabinet under the tub and then also started the shower wall. Now, we have black tape on some of the tiles because they're not exactly aligned with the previous tile, and the design that we went to lay the tile was this like 3/4 separation instead of having it directly in the middle. There's so many different designs that you can choose from. And just to give you an idea of the dust that we were living with, every single day, even after demo day, it just seemed like the dust was just never ending. I would wipe this down every single day. So if you're about to start a demo project, then just keep that in mind. So after about the first week, they have the entire wall finished, and I am blown away. I can't wait for them to go in and grout it, because then we'll get a good idea of what it will look like when it's completely done. And we have like one part of the project done. So we had the plumber come out because we picked our new bathtub faucet, and the valve that we bought for the faucet didn't fit underneath. So He ended up having to leave, and we had to wait an additional week or two, actually get a different plumber to come out and install the right valve once we had to go back, order the right piece, and then, or get the one that was more configurable. It wasn't necessarily the wrong piece. The piece just didn't fit. So we had to buy a different piece to get it to fit. So next, they've also gotten a little bit more progress here in the shower, and it's looking great. I mean, it's looking like a mess, but it's also looking great. Now we are on to week 2 of the project. We still have all of this all over our house, yet I have taken off a lot of the covering because we just can't live that way. So during week 2, I feel like the project slowed down a lot, but they did get the concrete in the shower floor, basically just leveling out the floors. Next, they came in and leveled out the rest of the floors, and the chemicals were so strong. I just remember having to open up all of the windows for several days because it was so strong. But y'all, they grouted the wall, and doesn't it just look so much different? We ended up going with a darker grout. The reason being is that if we picked the darker grout, then like the veining in the marble would help pop out more. I feel like if we went with the lighter grout, it would blend in a lot more, but the darker grout just really brings out that detail in the marble. So after a couple of weeks, it felt like it was finally coming together, and the concrete or the leveling on the floor took about, I would say, 12 to 24 hours to completely dry everywhere. There were spots that dried a lot faster, but there were spots that took a little bit longer to dry. Next, we have the floors going in, and this is where we're going to see the biggest change. So we ended up deciding to go with the border around the floor in the shower as well as the entire bathroom. The original pieces we bought for the border were 4 inches thick, and we ended up deciding to just make them 2 inches thick. This way it is thinner, so we would get like a 2-for-1 deal. And also because our bathroom area, floor area isn't that big, we just thought that it would look a little bit better if it was 2 inches opposed to 4 inches. This is also about the time that we decided to switch from black to gold. And let me tell you, there are no 2 golds that are alike. That was pretty difficult matching all the gold hardware. But this is just a reminder of what we were living through. I think by the end of this project, I was like, never again. And I'm just keep convincing myself that it's all going to be worth it in the end, which it is. But we still have to have them finish the floors. Now, this was, they told us, a very difficult project. Every cut was very specific. And because it's marble, they have to use a wet saw. And there's just some extra maintenance and extra detailing that goes into, I guess, using marble, and especially with the design that we picked out. At this point, there was also just one person working on the project. So within the next day or 2, they had to come in, finish the border along the edges, finish grouting the entire floor, and then they also had to come in and lay a bunch of acetone to get up all of the extra grout, and it was like gritty kind of feeling. So that was also when you had to like open up all the doors type day. So the construction is complete. Now I'll show y'all some before and afters, but make sure you're subscribed because in the next video, I have to still add all of the fixtures, change out the hardware, remove the framing around the mirror. We're adding some new framing, install the toilet, change out the chandelier, paint, and decorate. So we'll be finishing that up in next week's video, but give this video a thumbs up if you like how it's turned out so far.